Yeah, have
Let's
we
go back
gotten
to the
back to it right?
questions. Come on, let's go back to the
Yeah.
questions. Let's do it while I've got you here. Oh, for God's sake, where you gone? Tablecloth again? Here we go. Right, okay. So your home area. Where are you from? Where are you both
I
from?
guess
I'm going to go again. I've lost you again, Graham.
I'll, we come from Yell and West Sandwick, is where we were brought up in Gunnigarth. It was a small farm holding
Graham, I'm just looking at your notes again.
for
You need to
Hindus.
turn your camera. Hey,
We gotten back to
there we
rights
go.
again.
There you are. So you're originally from Yale, and tell me about badminton. Are your family into badminton?
No, well, none of our other family play at all. It's just me and Graham.
Why did that happen? Oh, sorry, no, I'll come
And
to that. What other brothers and sisters do you have?
Two older
How much
brothers.
older?
Ian, one is 5 year older, and the other one is 8 year
And do
older.
they play badminton?
No,
And why?
we played football.
And why did so? So what age when you were you both when you first played? Did one of you play before the other?
no, that all started the year we went to a larger school, and it was all really thanks to our uncle Alec, which was a stalwart on badminton sports ways, and he actually introduced us to it.
So when you say your uncle Alec,
We
is
took
that your
it
dad's
first.
brother or your mum's brother?
Mum's sister.
My mum's
Right.
sister's
Okay.
man.
Okay. I see. One of those uncles. I see. So he was. He was. He's not really uncle, but he is. Yeah. Anyway, that's good. So he was into badminton himself, was he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
Yes.
Was
good
he?
player.
And was he the coach?
I
Not
don't
a
know.
licensed coach, but he just a passion for the sport, and he just wanted to give everybody his best coaching he possibly could
Yeah.
for
So
for
what
winning
age
the
were you when
game.
you first played them? When you went to the big school, was that like a high school, kind of at 13 or something, or was it before that? What age was that? Were you?
72, so we left in
You
12.
12, 11,
and
12, yeah.
so was he a coach?
No, he just had a passion
Master.
for badminton.
And is there coaches? Was there a coach on Shetland? Also, where was the club? Where did he take you? Was it in Yale? Where did he take you? Where did you play first?
We were in the local. The school had a hall, but it had a window in the middle, which came down to about 15 feet, and it was high at the back. So that's where we played at the school initially.
How many courts were there?
The club, badminton clubs, just all just the one.
One.
And the public hall was the other place. The actual club on the Tuesday nights was played in the local public hall.
17 foot.
Wow, really? I was talking to somebody last week. Who is it? In fact, Mark Mackay said his hall was. He measured he went to the hall to measure. It was. What did he say? I think he said it was 13 feet.
I've played in that hall as well. Yes, and it was pretty
13
low.
feet.
Yeah. Driving
I know.
practice only.
That's what I said. I said, I bet you've got a good drive, haven't you? He says, oh yeah. He says, I've got a very low, sharp backhand. That's exactly. Imagine that. 13 feet. And what was your 17? Did you say?
Oh no,
Yeah.
it was above the net. We had somewhere about 15 feet from the floor to the roof.
And when you played, when you were playing at 11, was it popular? How common was it for everybody else? Was it a common sport, badminton, or were you quite unique, or was a lot of people went? That one.
A lot of schoolboys played. He was actually a teacher at the school.
Ice.
So we played on each break time, and then you took I applied, sent the best players he used to take and put us down into the local Shetland championships, the junior championships
That's
in
cool.
Lerwick.
That was your uncle Alex that did that. He said, yeah.
That's correct. Yeah. Well, most of the players were generation was actually coached and also, what would you say, given the encouragement to carry on.
Yeah, that's good.
And he used to drive us.
Sorry, Gordon.
Yes, he was.
They were playing down in Lerwick alongside the kind of adult inter-county team players, which was a higher standard. So we were really coming from the islands into juniors who had a lot more ability.
And
But it took us a pretty start.
what was your experience of coaching? When was your first coaching? Official, like, I know you obviously, Uncle Alec obviously had a passion and one of these people who was instrumental that made it fun and enjoyable. Who was your first coach? Do you remember?
That was the were players in Lerwick, like Sammy and Michael. They go down to Largs for a coaching week, and they came back, and then we met them in the championships. We actually got coaching on the run from them.
Like second-hand coaching.
Yeah. And they've been there.
And did you ever go to anything like that in Largs?
Yeah, we were. What year was that? 79 was it, Gordon?
So I think it was 82. 1982 we went to Largs and we met. It was Colin Atkinson was there, took that weekend. Tim, I can't remember.
Des Norden was there. And Billy. He was there for a couple of days. Dan Travers was there for a day. They all ran.
How was it coming from the islands all the way down to Largs? What age were you then?
22.
22, yeah. Must have been
20, 21.
Yeah. And what did you do for work back then?
I was a plumber. Sorry, I was a joiner. Graham was the plumber. We served our time with SIC. 4-year apprenticeship.
And did
we block releases down to Inverness.
Right. And did you at what age did you love badminton from the get-go kind of thing? And how often did you play back then when you first started? Like when I'm going back to when you first started, how often did you play?
We played once a week in the club, but if we could get the 2 or 3 of the other boys to come and play, then we used to go into the local hall and play there. And seen us playing some nights right up to 1 o'clock in the morning.
Really?
Yeah.
It's it's a great old sport. What did you? Okay, next on the questions. When did you start playing? What was your first ever racket? Gordon first.
That was a 3.7X Carlton.
Yeah, so.
And I remember going into J.J. Taylor's and buying that one. Was £9 for the racket and 50 pence for the cover.
What about you, Graham?
I followed suit. That was a 3.7X. I don't have the racket, but I still have the cover.
It was the old Carlton. I remember the Carlton cover. The red, white, and blue. Yeah, that's right. What was the name?
My one was Ridley.
Was it? What?
Ridley white letter.
Oh, that's exactly right. I was looking at my sister had a Carlton used to be massive, weren't they? I don't think they're big now.
Certainly not in the badminton scene. It doesn't seem to be quite as popular as it used to be.
No, it was mad when I was growing up. It was everywhere. Everybody had a Carlton. The shuttles were Carlton. The rackets were Carlton. I don't know what happened to them. I know they were bought by Dunlop. So who I think still own them. What was the name of the first club that you played in?
Oh, the Yale Badminton Club.
What was the whole
That's
like?
when they set it up for the Yale Badminton Club, and we were like, what, 16, 17 maybe? We were the treasurer, secretary, and chairperson.
Yes.
16, and we were very fortunate at that time. The SIC gave out grants, and we're looking at getting a mat put down on the floor instead of the dance floor, which was a little bit slippy. We got a plastic mat we rolled out. That was some unbelievable difference to play on.
And you rolled it out before the club kind of thing?
That's right, yeah.
That's good.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
We used to
what was your...
clear the hall out and then roll the mat out. Finish playing, roll the mat up, set the hall back out for a concert or whatever was going to go in there next.
Yeah, that's good.
So it was, and there wasn't just much heating in it either.
Was there not?
That was a 50 pence meter. It was in the hall then as well, so the heaters were switched off so we could keep the lights on.
It sounds like good fun. What shuttles did you have?
Yeah.
It's RSL tournament.
Oh, really?
Plastic to begin with. And we played in the media at the school, and then we migrated to RSL tourneys, the green and black tubes.
Was there ever a official coach on Yale? And so did you? You know, when other people were coming to the club and to Yale, did you end up coaching yourselves, or what did you ever coach yourselves? Other people?
Just played. Just really played.
Yeah, there were no tactics.
Learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I did. To kind of scramble about, don't you? You scramble. You just kind of... I remember going to coaching, and there were people that had been coached and so obviously coached, and I just kind of scrambled my way around. I was a bit of a... Yeah, I was never... My footwork was never great, and my technique was never great, but I had determination. I would just run it down, right? And were you both into doubles or singles? Yeah. And tell me about competing with each other.
That was usually an epic. That was usually about an hour. That was usually a marathon.
No one was going to make it easy.
Really? How often did you...
Singles.
Really? Wow, this is good. This is interesting. So, who's the best? Who would win?
Well, I will admit that Gordon was always better at the singles as I was.
Yeah, that was just. But usually,
the levels were both determined.
And did you keep on trying? Did you like singles?
Oh, I always kept on trying. Yeah, never give up. One motto.
Trying too hard.
I know that feeling. It's good.
Yeah. That was a funny weekend. Me and Graham met in the first round, won championships, and I think that was an hour and a half. We were both absolutely pooper.
Really?
The next round was a bit of a walkover. That was a marathon, but no, Graham is a better, I think, mixed really? Player as I am.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure.
It's a difficult one to answer, that one. It's just, I seem to enjoy the mixed, and the brain just seemed to engage the fact that you got the the shuttle at the other side to make it easy for the lady to kill it at the front. Because we used to play.
You're quite strong at the back, Graham.
Yeah.
I
was quite careful to defend at the back and make things difficult at the other side. Leave the weak returns back for the wife to kill it.
The wife. Did you play with your wife?
Yeah. She played for a while until her back gave in. We actually won the local Shetland Open Championships one year. So that was quite rewarding.
Yeah, that's good.
Is there
a lot of competition in Shetland? Is there regular competitions on, or is it an annual thing? Is it what?
Yes, it is an annual championships in Lerwick every February, usually singles and mixed and levels.
And do you still play singles, Gordon?
Yeah, I tried this year as well. I hit the bat against the young guys. They're awful fast. No.
I know. Mark Mackay loves it, right?
It's a good game. I enjoyed it. Yeah, we had a few tussles over the years against them. I was in the final a few times against them.
Yeah.
I never beat him until the day that he broke. He did his excruciating ligament.
Really?
But I was on a hiding as well that day as well. He would have won it as well, but I'm afraid he got injured. So that was the only win I ever had against him.
Yeah. And how is your and you now play mixed with your daughter? Is that right?
Yeah, Shauna was the one I had a good game against into the Inter-Island Games 4 years ago. It was great. We won the mixed doubles silver medal.
And what's it like
60.
now? The coaching, like what kind of coaching? What level of support did she have? When she played. Do you have kids, Graham?
Yeah, I two lasses, Stephanie and Naomi. Stephanie plays quite regularly. Naomi, she was playing. She was a better swimmer as a badminton player. So, and then when she went to college, then that she seemed to slip away. So work took over.
Yeah.
Stephanie still plays. She's quite into her netball and also her badminton, and just teaches swimming at the 8th Leisure Centre. She teaches the swimming there, and she's also doing her umpiring for netball, umpire tickets. So she's quite busy at the moment.
That's good. And have you ever
very proud of them.
Played with your daughter's badminton in a tournament or anything?
Yeah, I played in the Yale Open and also the Shetland Championships. Stephanie in the Shetland Championships and the Yale Open. It's a tournament that we actually set up here in the island of Yale, and I think the first one was 1989-90.
Brilliant.
When we started the Yale Open, that was an annual event. So, and we had quite a tournament, because everyone that came up, we set it up to be April, which was the last tournament of the season. So it was a finale.
Yeah.
So we had the tournament, and then we had quite a buffet and a disco and a dance at the back of it. So it was quite well attended.
And you say it was open. Where would people come from?
They came right from Scotland as well. We had Dan Travers and Aileen came up one year.
Wow.
And then what was the other ones going? Can you mind the Orkney? A lot of Orkney ones come up as well.
Yeah. That was the Shetland Open, was it? That the prize money year?
Oh no, that was No, that was played in the 80, 81.
Yeah,
That was long before we were married. Yeah. That was the couple of years after we played the international was up here.
That was
1990. That was quite a week of badminton. That
Was it over?
I
How
think
long?
Alec White won the singles then.
What the Yellow Open? How many rounds was that? Is it is it a day or is it a weekend or what would that be?
It was a weekend. We usually played the singles on the Friday night and all the doubles on the Saturday.
And does this still happen every year in April?
We changed it to February to fit in with a lot of the farming fraternity and the sheep farming, and so that we could actually get the Caithness ones and Orkney ones back up, because April was right in the middle of calving and lambing.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So we just decided to have it in February. So it was well attained.
What was the biggest? So how many would you get? What's the biggest you've had in all the years? What's the maximum number of people you've had?
Oh, I think you were 80.
Wow.
Yeah, that was
a heavy weekend. A badminton.
I think badminton. All our nephews and nieces was all playing as well. I think they were 10 kind of family members.
10 of our families, yeah. That was the lead. Alan, Lee, Ross, they were all playing that year. All that generation.
All were lads.
And how organised are you heavily involved in organising it now, Graham?
Yeah, I'm on the committee. We really have a really good young committee at town, and I must put in just a big thank you publicly to Jackie and her daughter Laura. The amount of work that they actually put in, and Annette Gare, it's incredible amount of work that they put in behind the scenes for all the paperwork and all the club work. They do a tremendous amount. So it's great to have a dedicated people that actually can do it and enjoy doing it.
It really is. There's so many. I mean, everyone I've spoken to, there's always somebody instrumental over the years, and kind of whether it's involved in kind of like your Uncle Alec getting you into the sport in the first place, or just being that guy that organising. There's a lot of people. I don't know about you. I see people that have instrumental in organising tournaments and competitions and leagues. And there was a guy in Berwick where I'm from. He went every single Sunday, and he would set up a table, and he didn't even play. He just came and set up, and he was an older boy, and he set up with his paper, and he had all those things printed out, and he had his pens there, and he took the money, and he gave the prizes, and he sent you onto that court, then that court, and then that court. And without these people, isn't it amazing?
That's just a big thanks to everybody like that. And they're all over the place. You just can't do without them. Either that the sport will actually die, I think.
Yeah. These things, without these people, you just say, hang it, let's stop doing it. Without these people getting it going. And is it in a good shape in Yale? Do you think? Do you feel it's in a good shape? There's a lot of people coming through. Is it all good?
We have a lot of young interested players, and they actually do seem to be quite keen to keep going, because they're always asking when your club is going to start up again after all this lockdowns. So hopefully this winter we'll see a few more nights and a lot of the youngsters coming again.
Is there now coaching? Is there now people that do official coaching, Graham?
Yeah, a lot of the ones just done their coaching tickets. So and they take the school bairns. And we usually try and get them to watch main tournaments as well.
Yes.
And they're quite they're quite interested. They just want to play. They're no, they don't take all the losing. They're good losers. That has to be taught and coached into them as well.
Really, how to
Winning is always a bonus.
Yeah, yeah, I know what you mean. You get some badly behaved people that lose, don't you? You see it all the time. People losing badly. I agree with that.
Oh heavens, my one. That's when the scoring was three. You had the two serves on one
Yes.
side, and I went down the singles, and I had 2 games in my singles on the tournament down in Nairn, Elgin it was, and I got 2 points in 2 games from the number one seed. So it was a long way to go to Inverness to get 2 points in a singles match.
Jim Mailer.
But
That was when
I
I
survived.
don't know if you know Jim Mailer. Do you know him? Jim
yeah.
Mailer from Stirling. His interview. He went to the Scottish Open and he played in it, and when he was growing up, this was, and he got grannies. He got love, 15 love, and I think he got 1 point or something this year. And he actually came away and said, "Do you know something? That's never ever gonna happen to me again." It was just so humiliating.
Yeah.
He says, "I never want to feel like that again." And do you know what? He went home and he trained and he trained and he trained and he trained, and then he went back the following year and he beat the guy. It's great. That's
Excellent.
we've
A little
Certainly
bit of
does give you the benefit.
what's that, Gordon?
definitely a bit of coaching certainly helps. I know that when we get to Largs, it's just footwork, as you were speaking earlier about the footwork. That was what we just ran the same way as yourself until we learned the correct way of getting our feet to move. And that was the big thing we took back from Largs. Huge difference it made to us.
Definitely. And then you go and practice it, right? That's the thing, isn't it? You go and practice it in your own time, and it's
Yeah. But we've got a lot of coaches here now in Shetland, really, for taking the youngsters. And we've had a couple of them. It's into development plan, actually down in Scotland at the university just now. But it's made a big difference to the standard of badminton. I would say some of the juniors now is as good as they were when we were in our mid-20s.
really, what, like early teens, like 13-year-olds kind of thing.
13, 14, 15, yeah. The ability and just their action, the stroke play, their footwork is way streets ahead of us when we were their age.
And what do you think about their ability, their access to facilities? Is it? I think a lot of these things is to do with the access and availability and how long you've got effectively to, how often you can access courts and that kind of thing. Like you said, you went once a week, right? So these guys are probably playing every day or every other day, probably. Do you think?
Oh, well, they certainly do 2, 3, 4 times a week, yeah. But the bairns at that age tend to be into every sport as well, so I think some of the money look at when they're 15, 16, maybe 17, starting to look at just one sport, maybe two.
Yeah.
But up to that age, they're into everything.
Yeah. I think I was the same. I was into a lot of sports, but there was a kind of a, I think I tried squash and badminton at the same time was just disastrous. So I had to choose and drop one. So I dropped the squash because it was just a killer. That driving down the line, I've spoke about it before. Driving on the right hand side, that whole motion, right? I love squash, and I could have taken it out, but I'm glad I didn't now, because I don't know I don't like where I am. Squash is really bad access to squash courts up where I am, and people to play, and it just seems. I guess, I wonder, maybe obviously when you've got badminton, you can have, if you've got 3 courts or 4 courts, you can get 24 people. If you organise a squash club, how many can you get? You're going to get 2 people on court at the same time, and maybe you could get 8 people on a club night kind of thing. With badminton, you can have 25, 30 people, 25 people. 20, I think at our club, the most we would get probably on a night is about 24, 25 people on a place with 5 courts in Edinburgh. How many do you get on your club nights? Is it...
Here in Eighth, we've got, last year I was up there with 18. It dwindled down to about 12 for 3 courts last year, but we had a maximum of 18. But the juniors, we've got starting at E7, and that is, we've got 20, 40, 60 different age groups. Yeah.
That's about the same numbers. That's about the same numbers it's at here in Yale, same idea. The school burns after school, and then the club nights. It's around about the teens. So that's three courts taken up for 2 hours, which is a good quantity of games.
Definitely. What do you think about coaching yourself? Would you do it now yourselves?
I do it myself. We go through a coaching course. The last one we did was the first one we did was the late Russell Hogg came up when we got through our club badge, and then the last one we came through was Bob Ula that came up that got us through the other level. I took the some of the junior coaching, and I did Island Games coaching 4 years ago.
Yeah, good. What about you, Graham?
Being up here in Ireland, I was a self-employed plumbing heating engineer when the main sport was, so my time was basically trying to make time to play, and that usually came to be at club nights, and that if somebody would ask you, how do you get this done and how do you get that done, then you just show them on court as we were playing. There's no such thing as fixed coaching.
Yeah, that's right. And do you think there is a kind of? Do you think the footwork is a critical thing, Gordon, as well? What do you think about that? Do you know when you teach people, what do you think the first thing is?
It's just action, stroke action, and footwork. It's the repetition.
The racket, right?
Yeah, repetition.
Yeah, the racket grip is crucial.
The grip, yeah.
Changing the grip.
Yeah. That's good. Let's go back on the questions.
You get so many of them actually just gripping it like a broom handle and just holding it so tight that you see white knuckles.
The white knuckles, that's right. When did you start playing together? When was the first time you played together in doubles? And was it very regularly? Have you always been a doubles pair, or when you played doubles?
For the schools, yeah. For the school we were, and then when they got married and travelled to the mainland, then they took up with Tucker. I played with Michael for a lot of years.
Well, before that we played, the
juveniles and the juniors we played together, and then first of the seniors.
And what's it like? And did you ever fight on court? What was that like?
No, it was very good. We did just him to know what the guy was doing.
Yeah. The comments usually came over the net. You'll have to do better the next shot.
There must be something there, because obviously you've played together a lot, right? You've played together a lot, and there's you know each other's strengths and weaknesses so well, and for somebody playing against you that's never played against you, I suppose. I think about the Gremlins, and I watch a lot of badminton, obviously, and you see them playing against, it's so, the chemistry and the understanding of your opponent, your partner, is so important. You can throw 2 amazing badminton players together, and it can not necessarily be a good thing. You can get 2 people that know each other, that know the strengths, that know good back, good smash, good drop, good shots. You know each other's shots from years of experience, right?
Yeah, I would fully agree there. Yeah, definitely. Some will gel, some will just never get together at all.
Yeah, it's true.
That's certainly, yeah, you can see it. That happens in all sports as well. You can see that with the youngsters when you're saying like put ones down to the championships. You try the partners together, and you just know which ones just cannot play together.
That's funny.
They just
Mhm.
one gets in the
But you
other
can watch
way.
them individually and you see they're exceptional, but then you put them together and it's a disaster, and you think, how can that be? You know, it's incredible, isn't it, when you think about it? I find that amazing. It's interesting, yeah, interesting about the sport. Who was your going back to your doubles pair? Who was your main Well, I suppose even it sounds like in singles you are your biggest competition between you. Were you when you played singles together? Did you obviously you were quite strong competition? Who was your main competition growing up? Do you think, Gordon? If I ask you that question.
I guess when we were younger, like in the 15, 16, 17, it was Graham was the competition there. But then when we got into the over 18s, then that changed. We had the Michael Guthrie, James Moyer, and all the good guys. It was Sammy Johnson. They were all a lot better as we were because they were that bit older. They had a little bit more coaching and tactics and playing a lot against the good players down in Lerwick. But that's when we came down to Lerwick. We actually ended up going down there for a club night. Me, Graham, and Michael. And we, again, club night there, and we were playing till maybe 1, 2 in the morning. And when we had to drive up to the ferry, and we slept in the car.
Really?
For the ferry, and 6 o'clock in the morning, ferry, back to Yale, we go to work.
What, every week?
Yeah, we are every week in the winter. Yeah. We're waking up a few mornings, it's pretty cold.
So was that kind of when you first, do you remember the first time you went?
Likely about 17. Well, we don't know if we were 17, weren't we?
I hate the right car, so that means 78, Gordon.
Yeah. So that was when we started there, just to improve for badminton.
How did you find out? How did you find out about it, and how did you know? Yeah, who invited you, I suppose, as well, and how did you know about it?
Well, Michael Guthrie was working in Lerwick, and he was playing with the club down there, and he said to West, why don't you come down?
Yeah, he was great pals with James too. James Moyer, he was great pals with him, and he was in the club. He was quite a good player too. Actually, the badminton was played in a church hall, the place called St. Clement's. It's a single court badminton hall.
Wow.
And you could actually, the roof was a truss roof with couples, and you could actually serve the shuttle from one side, and it actually went right over the couple leg to the singles to the other side. That was the Kirk Hall, Church Hall.
And how many, when you first went, how many were there? How many? I can't imagine you going through all of that to go to a badminton club. So what time how long did it take to get over from Yale down to Lerwick? How long was that journey?
That was from, it was 6:30 ferry. That was a 25 minute ferry journey. And then it was another 30 odd miles to Lerwick.
So
half past 7.
We arrived there at 7:30. Yeah.
And you're on court until 12 o'clock at night or something.
Well, we had to take our turn because they were like maybe 15, 16 folk there on a single court. And there's Stanley Sinclair and Kenny Ray. They were the old guys that was there. Alan Smith,
Rob Anderson, Gordon Smith, Gordy.
Yeah. So there were a lot of older hands, yeah.
And do you remember learning anything particular when you went there? Was it I think I kind of have I kind of have you have a thing, you go and you learn and you play your badminton at a certain standard, and then you go to the big kind of what they call the big, I suppose. I remember going to coaching in Newcastle, and there were people that played every day, and I just remember kind of as soon as I walked in this hall, thinking, oh my God, what have I got here? These kids were playing before school. They were playing before school. I was going to club Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then we played leagues on a Sunday. And I remember going to coaching in Newcastle, and it was the county coaching is like, I mean, exceptional place were at it, and yeah, it was an eye opener. I scrambled at badminton really, and so I never really had I didn't really have the coach. I got coached for about 2 years, but I actually gave up. There was a player there specifically who was so good. I thought I will never be as good as that guy. I'm gonna jack it. And no matter how hard I try, I'm never gonna be as good as that guy. That was me.
I never give up.
Yeah, wrong attitude. Yeah.
If you enjoy it, keep
I
playing.
know. I stopped for a few years, and I've returned to it now, and I do love it. And how do you feel about it now? Do you like it as much as you always have?
Yeah, you still have that inkling. Think it cripples the body, but you still want to play.
I know.
Yeah, it's still as keen as ever. Just as competitive, I guess. But
yeah,
you have to know your limits. You can try, and you can't walk a week afterwards. You cannot walk.
I know, and it's it's good. Okay, let's see. Clubs you play now? So where do you play now, Gordon? What club do you play at now?
We play here in the eighth badminton club. Just it's only a half a mile down the road here, and then I go to Lerwick as well once a week.
So a couple of times. And do you ever go and play? I guess you just rent a court with your daughter or whatever, just go and practice or anything like that. Do you train? Do you train towards badminton? I was thinking about Mark Mackay last week. He was saying he goes with his wife and he goes to training and all that stuff. Do you do that kind of thing? Do you do any training for badminton specific?
Do that. Doing here in eighth occasionally. Some nights that you're playing with the other players, you'd be 2v1. So you take them on and do some shuttle runs. Yeah. And I always try it myself and show them how to do it. It's a lot of hard work. But the inter-county training is in Lerwick, so I usually go there once a week during the winter.
Do you see there's a lot of really good talent in Shetland just now?
Certainly in the band. Yeah. A lot of young guys coming through, yeah.
And are these guys going down south, into the west of Scotland and that kind of thing? Do they go down? Do they travel, or is it very self-contained on Shetland? Is it good enough?
They've been doing once to Dingwall. That was the last few tournaments. It's been there once a year. I don't know so specifically going down regularly. Yeah. There are a couple of juniors, at the university. They're going down. They're at the clubs down in Glasgow and Edinburgh.
That's good. That's good. Go on your current racket. What's your current rackets? What do you play with?
I play with Yonex. I've got a couple of Ashaway ones this last winter. I broke the other Yonex one. I just have one left. They don't make them no more either.
I don't know, what's that? What kind of racket?
That was the old 8000. Yes.
I haven't heard of that one. What's it called? What's it called? Yonex what? It's just called a Yonex 8000. Is that?
It was 8,000, yeah. It's nearly as old as I am, I guess.
What about you, Gordon? Graham, sorry.
He's got us mixed up again.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's a Yonex. Them played me, in 2 decades. But it's the same as my brother's ones. They're that old. I haven't upgraded them yet, so I'm afraid I can't replace them with the same like for like. So it'll have to be a a new model the next season if I break this once.
Yeah, I'm right into gadgetry. I love the latest thing. I love it. Love all the latest thing that's coming out. But it's getting expensive, right? Rackets are getting, £150 easy now.
Yeah, but you still had that performance with the young ones at the club. Pay more attention to your footwear as you do to the racket.
That's right.
You've got to have right shoes. Got to. I've seen so many injuries.
Oh yeah, from bad shoes. Yeah, definitely. What about tension string? Do you bother with that? What kind of string you play with, or what tension?
Mine's usually about the 26, 28.
Yeah, me too. Gordon?
Yeah, I'm the same. It's 28 pounds.
20. And is it, who does the stringing for you? Is it? I guess there's a sports shop in Lerwick, is there?
There is one in Lerwick, but I usually take mine if I have time to go down to Caithness. Mark does it himself.
Oh, really?
I get a couple of freebies occasionally, but
really?
Kevin Smith is down here, and he's a very good badminton player himself.
Is he?
But he has a stringing machine, one of the latest electronic ones.
Oh yeah, it's all very.
So he does.
It's all very high.
He's quite good at it too.
Yeah, it's all very high tech nowadays. All this electric machines and all that stuff, the programming and all that stuff to do.
Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah. And what do you think of all the time? Tell me something. So between the both of you, I'll start to see this question first, Gordon. What was your best memory of playing badminton?
I guess when you were youngsters at the junior level, then the singles and doubles, but the best one was winning the mixed doubles open here in Shetland with Caroline, my wife.
Really?
That was the first memorable one as well, and winning the medals with Graham in the doubles and Island Games, and the final one really was the mixed doubles with Shona 6 years ago, Island Games, some of the medal. That was the biggest achievements.
Sounds fantastic. What about you, Graham?
You pinched the first one there. I was also, when we played in the Shetland Championships, I won the mixed doubles with Caroline, my wife, as well. So that was a good win and a really, really, really happy time, that one. And same main tournaments with my brother. There, the Island Games and Isle of Man and Jersey winning medals there as well. And also the ones we actually winning the inter-county #1 position there. That was a big boost.
Wow. Winning
your first inter-county cap. And then also your first Scottish senior cap. That was quite a proud moment for our uncle to actually see was in the Scottish circuit.
Yeah.
That was a big day.
Fantastic. Did you both meet your wives through badminton?
No, I got Caroline for more or less when she was 6 and we were at school, and then
Really?
just we work and just in dances and discos, and that just seemed to materialise.
Fantastic.
Happy days.
What about you, Gordon?
Yeah.
It was actually through badminton I came to see Caroline first. That was the championships as well, where Uncle Alec took us down to Lerwick, and there were no ladies left, and Caroline, Uncle Alec was organised a mixed doubles partner for me down in Lerwick. That was hello, hi, I'm Gordon. So this is Caroline, and we went on the court, and I have a funny feeling we actually lost that game, and I might thinking, I was just It's a nice lass. And walked up to Cornish next year. That was about like 17, I suppose, to say we'll be playing the championships maybe next year. And we left the
Hold on a
school
minute.
this
It took
time.
you another year.
Yeah, that was the next
You're a
contact.
slow mover. You're very slow.
Yeah, so that was the start, and
Yeah, that's
and
great.
she started to learn to drive. So that was an excuse to see her again.
Yeah.
Driving lessons, and that was within 6 months after the championships. That was and the rest is
It's history.
that's where we are now.
No, it's all brilliant. That's great. So
Yeah.
I'll finish with this question. I'll start with you, Gordon. The last question is: what is it about badminton? You've all the other sports you've done. What do you think about badminton specifically? What do you think about badminton? It is you love about badminton when all the other sports. Start with you, Gordon.
A lot of it, I think, is just in your own self-belief in yourself and the ability, and also the challenge towards the other person at the other side. He's there to get points off of you as well as you're trying to get points off of him. The ultimate aim is to win the game. Looking at it was always the same. What he does, I did back to him again. See if he had any weaknesses. But just the competition. I just love the competition and the camaraderie afterwards, and the social scene afterwards, and the friendships that's built on it.
Yeah.
You get that good banter afterwards. You say, "I'll have you next year." I'm going home to work on it.
to work on that. I
seeds
need to work on that. That's right. You remember what you did wrong, didn't you? I suppose.
Right,
Oh,
yeah. Get your pretty black book out to get all this notes taken.
I must
Yeah.
remember never to do that. I wouldn't lift it onto his backhand again. One of them. What about you, Graham?
No,
What about you, Graham? Same question.
Yeah, that's I think when it came through the fact that you started playing a lot more of it, you realise, yeah, you can do this, and you really enjoy doing it, and you got a lot of technical aspects of it. The things that you used to do would put other people into difficulty, and as Gordon was saying, like, if they start doing something to you, you really have to think on your feet to rectify it, to sort that out so they don't do that to you again.
Yes.
And you never, I've always felt on the opposite side of the court that you're there to win the game, but whoever comes off win deserves to win it.
Yeah.
And you never hold a grudge against that.
It sounds like it's quite sounds like your approach to it is quite scientific, if you like, analyzing what you do, that kind of thing. Do you?
Well, you put a lot of thought into actually make things difficult for your opponent.
Yes.
So if you get the shot in first, then they have to make the decision of what they're going to do to you. And once you get that all done, it gives you that sense of, well, I had to work hard at that one.
Yeah.
But it's the same. It builds up incredible friendships over the decades that we've played, like all over the world now with the Island Games.
Yeah.
So it is a great sport. Great sport.
Who's the best player you've ever played against? Who is the best player you think you've ever played against?
Oh, myself, I would say Dan Travers.
Really?
Well, Kevin Stein goes first. Dan Travers. Colin Atkinson when we were coaching, because he was a very tactical guy. Fond memories, and you have a lot of, but that was the heaviest one, because you knew the standard he was at, and you'd be there, and the deception was crippling.
Yes.
but
Oh.
you lived and learned.
I would say I might playing against Dan Travers in the Perth 20 club in the Bell Centre.
That was a good year, yeah.
That was a big year. We travelled from Shetland to Aberdeen to Dundee to Perth, just playing matches with the county team.
Yeah.
So it was Dan Travers there, and then we get to the west of Scotland. That was another tournament, and I think meeting Kenny Middlemas. And I think we started the game, and I thought I had my own. It was 15-8 sort of thing. I was thinking, I had in here. I was running around like a flea, you know. The next game he was just warming up. The next game, I think I got 1 point.
He was being generous.
He was being very generous. The next time, I just had no answer to him at all. Absolutely none. And I mind playing up in Dingwall. We always went down there every year to the Rossshire Open. That was a ranking tournament a lot of years ago.
Yeah, was it?
And we played there. That's when we first saw Colin Campbell and Donald and all the notable guys up there. And it was Colin and Donald, I mind, having a game. They met in I think the semi-finals or something. And I was on for the game. Graham was on for the game, and one of our other guys we Shetland was on for the game. We were all finished, and Colin and Donald were still going at it. It was bang, bang, thump, thump. It was just rally, and more rallies. We were just in awe, looking at them and thinking, this is unbelievable. They never made a mistake. So we went home thinking that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
And that was when we were about 20, and then it was 20 years later when we were 40, we went to the veteran tournaments in Glasgow, and we were just very naive coming in there, knowing what to do or where to go, and looking at guys. And I think, nah, pretty sure that guy, we know that guy, and we know this guy, and he looks familiar. But it's a lot of years ago. And it's only when he came to speak to the guys that we realised that this is where we met them all. It's in Dingwall.
Wow.
That's right.
It was great to catch up with everybody.
Yeah.
And then that was an annual pilgrimage for me and Graham for the last 20 years that we've been going down to Glasgow.
down to see them all. Did you watch Colin's interview?
Yeah. I did see a little bit of it, yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That was very good. Yes.
Yeah, he had access to again, he had access to facility whenever he wanted it growing up, and when you're a kid, you get someone between your teeth, don't you? And you think it's, if you had access to a facility whenever you could, you would do it, right? You would just go and, I'm going to practice this, I'm going to practice that. I remember having that kind of determination. But yeah, it's obviously
absolutely, yeah. And if you get one or two other guys with the same mindset, then that's you on your way.
Yeah. Well, I'm like you. I had family. I had 3 brothers and a sister, and 2 of my elder brothers played badminton. And we would just go. We lived in a tiny village, and we just go down to the hall on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and often there'd be nobody else there. It was just the 2 of us with the cheaper Carlton plastic shuttles in a hall for 3 hours, 8 till 11 o'clock at night, and you just lock the key and leave it post it back through the letterbox at the end of the night, and that was you really. It was
that's right.
Yeah, which is good, but I just nowadays you look at it and you look at, I mean, I look at it now and I think of the training and the facilities and the coaching that you have access to nowadays, the kids have access to nowadays. To imagine if you started at 11 and somebody told you footwork right at 11, it's
you don't know where you know.
Be on the telly.
I don't
I'll be on YouTube. I'll be on YouTube. Good. Right, great guys. Listen, I've taken enough of your time. Thank you. That's been an hour. It's been awesome chatting to you, and lovely to get to meet you. And I'm gonna come to Yale. I'm gonna come to your Yale Open. I'm on that. It's
definitely no. Just keep
February.
we'll be on the internet.
Oh, I'll be there. I'm all over that. I'm getting a bus. I'm bringing a bus from Edinburgh. I'm involved with about 3 clubs in town, and I'm sure everybody would love to come up. It's sounds really good. Just need somewhere to stay. Bring my tent. That'll be it. Good.
Oh, you don't have to worry about staying. There's plenty of accommodation in the place.
Oh, that's fantastic. Good. Great stuff, guys.
That's if you get. Yeah. So it's great.
Thank you for your time, guys. Right. Take care. We'll speak again soon. Cheers, guys. Have a good night. Cheers. Thank you. Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers.